Alright, alright, welcome back to the Oceania Apprentice Level 7K tournament. I'm Sir Q85 alone in the commentary booth this time around. We have two matches in this block, 13 UTC. We have Unitori and PotassiumF, which we will be witnessing here live. And there's also another match, XL Faker against Nena Sakura, which I think we'll be catching up on should this one conclude earlier. Both matches are in the losers bracket, so that is something for both of these matches. Like the players on both of these matches should take note of, since whoever loses their respective matches will have to say goodbye to the tournament, while the winner is not yet going to be guaranteed a spot in the in the semifinals in the semifinals weekend, but we'll be facing another player tomorrow. The winner of this match on stream, Unitori against PotassiumF in particular, will be playing Playboy Carti at 8 a.m. UTC Sunday, and the other match, Axel Faker and Nene Sakura, will be facing Howard on 12 UTC tomorrow as well. Anyways, I think we're about to do the warm-ups. Though it does appear that they've already done their first one, so I think we'll only be witnessing one warm-up for this match. Also, just to take note, PotassiumF is well known to be a flashlight player, regardless if it's 4K or 7K. And another thing is that PotassiumF is also very proficient in these kinds of charts, like LN coordination, LN release. Meanwhile, Unitori might be the one who will be taking advantage of the more physical picks in this pool. Maybe going to be avoiding these LN heavy picks. Another interesting thing to take note about this match is the condition of both of these players going into this weekend. Unitori wasn't able to play last weekend since they had an injury on one of their arms, or was it like around the wrist area, if I remember correctly. Though apparently they have rested well enough that it shouldn't be an issue for them for this match, but hopefully they're not going to be pushing themselves way too hard. On the other hand, PotassiumF is mentioned on the Discord server, the tournament Discord server, that their keyboard, like one of the keys on their default layout, their most comfortable layout, like one of the keys got broken, and now they're using a different keybind, probably on their right hand, from based on what they mentioned on the Discord server. So both of these players kind of having what you call it, suboptimal conditions, I would think, going into this match. So it's going to be interesting to see how both of these players will be faring throughout the entire thing. Also, PotassiumF, what in the actual heck is this score? This is really good. But that is what we expect from PotassiumF, one of the best LN release players in the entire roster. Alright, since we're done with both warm-ups, it's time for us to see the strategies of both of these players. Though we're just waiting for the rolls here. PotassiumF gets a 21, Unitori gets a 73. So it does mean that PotassiumF will be given the liberty of banning first. And Unitori will have the privilege of being the one to pick first in this match. PotassiumF going to be kicking out Hydroripia RC5 off of this pool for this match. The mixed rice pick, arguably one of the hardest picks in this pool. The like just being a Turk start in itself kind of already mentions, kind of already gives a sign on the possible difficulty of this chart overall. It's Unitori's turn to ban. Again, just to mention, RC Hydraripia has been banned. Presume Unitori will be the one banning any of the LNs. So there you go, LN1 getting banned. The LN release pick. But the rest of the pool is pretty open for both of these players to take advantage of. Really depends now on what both of these players' strategies are going to be in. We've seen quite a few. Actually, no, only one close call. Because we've only witnessed one match the entire weekend. The other two matches have been forced to be a default since the players had to withdraw from due to unfortunate circumstances. Anyways, it does appear that Unitori is going to be rolling their pick and will be getting RC2 in, which will be Lunar, the chord stream pick of this pool. One of the easier picks to act, actually. Does get pretty it does get pretty dense near the end. So it's really just a matter of being able to hold on for the most part. Anyways, we're about to start the second match of this weekend here on stream. Unitori against PotassiumF. First pick is going to be Lunar, the chord stream pick. In just a few moments, both of these players should be readying up, and we'll be starting in a few. We'll be starting the action in a few, I mean. Both of these players kind of discussing just a tad bit. PotassiumF mentioning that Rice might be favored towards Unitori. Uh, and I would presume LNs will be favored towards Potassium, but again, the pool is pretty big. This is a first to six match as well, a best of 11 match, in other words. So, lots of opportunities to gain points either way for both of these players. And here we go with Lunar. Both of these players off to a pretty consistent start here. PotassiumF carrying the higher of the two accuracies, but this is practically even between these two. We probably won't be seeing too much of a difference until much later into the chart when the densities start to pick up. PotassiumF kind of dropping to below 99.8, but still. Oh, okay, never mind. That was a pretty rough sequencer from PotassiumF, dropping them to 99% flat. Not exactly the not exactly the section you'd want to miss on, and that was a pretty big drop as well. Meanwhile, Unitori carrying in 99.86. And I think we're going to be expecting this level of consistency here from the guy from Bahrain, who, as a matter of fact, actually is of Filipino ethnicity. Unitori has played in a Philippines nationals over the past 2 years, so pretty interesting prospect here for Unitori. PotassiumF finding yet another drop. It's a pretty I think my POV just hang for a bit there. Anyways, let's continue with the commentary. Finding a few around, never mind, the Unitori, as we continue this commentary, did find a drop, like actually several drops there. Both of these players kind of struggling maintaining the combos in this denser section. So Unitori is hovering around at 99% accuracy, which is pretty good. PotassiumF on the other hand, before he got cut off, PotassiumF is probably just thinking of like tanking this pick and really relying on their LN ability once the pick goes to their side. For now, Unitori will be picking up their first point of the match with a pretty good ratio actually. Good 200 count as well. Only a few mishaps with the 150s and misses. And now Potassium F will be picking a joyful snowfall. One of the harder LN picks in this pool, and honestly, what we consider the LN wildcard pick of this pool. It's not cannot really call it the mix pick. And I would think that Potassium F will be getting one of the better scores here. So I guess this time around it will presumably, in case Unitori finds less comfort in this chart, it will be Unitori this time tanking this pick. Unless Potassium F for some reason finds a misstep in form. There's like a lot of things that could still happen. This is a pretty long chart, one of the longest picks in the pool. So both of these players have to be careful in general. The start of this chart is pretty standard. Like I don't think like never mind. Unitori finding a pretty early drop, as I was about to say that this isn't even the main difficulty bit chart just yet. Not exactly something you'd want, and it's a pretty big accuracy drop as well. Though it's easy to gain the accuracy here for the most part, it's just a matter of like whether you could continue that accuracy gain once the density of this chart picks up in a few moments from now. Potassium F on the other hand, carrying that 99.69%, a very nice accuracy right there coming from the Australian. Like I know that being a former flashlight player myself, like it's still weird to see players carrying LN accuracy even while having the lane cover in front of you. Unitori finding a few drops as we saw the density pick up, the arpeggio staircase. For the most part, not really troubling both of these players, but Unitori just finding some drops here and there. But Potassium F, maintaining that full combo, very impressive here. This chart isn't exactly the ACK chart. This is more of a combo chart, which Potassium F has shown, but unfortunately finding a drop going to around the 1,200 combo mark. But this lead is pretty sizable now, and Potassium F just needs to take this home really. All of these players starting to struggle with these longer LNs. Like they can maintain their combo on the staircases. It's the longer LNs that are giving both of these players some sort of trouble here. But both players are starting to gain their footing. Never mind there for PotassiumF finding the consecutive drops, but the lead is pretty sizable. And Unitori trades one of them. Yeah, PotassiumF finding consecutive drops here. The score gap is closing just a little bit, but I don't think that would matter as we're about to enter the final section of this chart, which is relatively lighter. And that's it. PotassiumF will be getting their first point on the board. But we'll just have to take this home. Try not to be too overzealous, I would think. And now we're virtually at a best of 9 with both of these players tied at 1-1. Right now, it's going to be Unitori's turn to pick. And say similar to what we had earlier for their first pick, I think they're going to be rolling this time around. They're going to be rolling again. And Unitori will be picking RC1 based on that assumption. There we go, RC1. Mock Space Journey. The primary speed pick in this pool. Like this pick is the speed pick is starting to become one of the more physical picks going into the weekends. And this is a start of them. Like you see some pretty hard transitions here, like some fast mini brackets that are starting to become a bit longer, a bit more rolly than what we've had over the past few weekends. And here we go with a second pick. I mean, with the third pick of this match, Mock Space Journey.